Year 1995, I was finishing my MBA, and actually I'm from Roorkee, before it was called IIT Roorkee. That was back in 1990. And I went to the US. It was fashion those days. Everybody, all computer science graduates would go to the US to get their masters and so on and so forth. So did my masters, was 95. 93 is when internet started. So you had Netscape and you had Yahoo, and single pieces of paper with a business plan on PowerPoint were getting funded $20 million. I come from a services background. My dad was in the army. And typically you are very scared to get into something like this. And 95, we were sitting next to the pool, a short story. And I was feeling very nostalgic about India. I can't listen to commentary. I can't listen to Hindi music. US had only FM station, and oh by God, we had AM and we have shortwave and medium wave. So a friend of mine who was the administrator of the computer center at the MBA program where I was, we were sitting having a pitcher of beer and saying, wouldn't it be great if we were to bring radio on the internet? This is 1995. Great challenge. I'm a computer science major. He's an IT guy and a hardware guy, and we decided to do a prototype. People say ideas are a dime a dozen, right? I say prototypes are a dime a dozen too. We developed a prototype. It worked. We were able to get 1 or 2 radio stations on the internet. Thought we can start a great company. But you know what? Ernst & Young came in and gave me an offer, a job offer. A poor student who's taken a loan, and suddenly the top management consulting company comes and gives you an offer. I remember still, annually I was going to make, this is 1995, about $58,900 a year. Big money for a student, huge money for a student. I said, what the heck with the company? I don't care. You know, in 1997, early 1997, a company by the name of broadcast.com was sold to Yahoo for $5.7 billion. I have been kicking myself ever since. So the reason I started the story was first to wake you up. Drinks are ready shortly, hopefully. A second thing is just to share that all of us as entrepreneurs, it's not as if we are born to be entrepreneurs. So what happened after that? I joined A.T. Kearney. You get married, you have kids. Year 2000 is when, after A.T. Kearney, I was, one of my VC friends in the US came to me and said, they have funded a company that is a reverse logistics company. I thought I'm a supply chain master, and I was very intrigued. I have never heard of that term before. So went to meet with the CEO, and who was the founder. He was an ex-Pepsi head, US. So he said, okay, Hitendra, how do you define supply chain? All of you can define supply chain, right? Movement of products from the manufacturer to the distributor to the consumer, blah, 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 blah. I did the same. That's exactly what the definition of supply chain is in the dictionary also. He said, out of 100 points, I give you 50. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? He said, what you forgot is what you have defined to me is movement of basically a forward supply chain. What you have not told me is there is a certain percentage of the products that traverse a journey back. Any guesses what percent is it in India? Wild guess. Anybody? 25? 10? Right? You're right. Of every 100 units going forward, 4 to 5% of the products come back. How big is this market? 12 to 15 billion dollars every year products come back. In your companies, do you have anybody looking at reverse supply chain? All of you are supply chain experts. One more question. This is supply chain 101. Strength of any supply chain is the strength of its weakest link. Agreed? Reverse supply chain today is the weakest link. Nobody looks at it in India. It's bleeding companies dry. So when I came to India, after this experience of about 2 years, learned a lot about reverse logistics, designed their IT system, joined Microsoft. So quit the company because my daughter was born and my wife was in Dallas, I was in Austin, we needed to stay together. So quit. I made the sacrifice, decided to go to Seattle. Microsoft gave us a job, and then Microsoft asked me to come to India and head the OEM business unit. Just like I'm telling you my story, many of these OEM partners of ours, OEM original equipment manufacturers, the Dells, the Lenovos, the Acers, HPs, I used to sit with them and say, I used to run a reverse logistics company. They're like, what the heck is that? So I started asking them 4 questions. That's it, 4 questions. What's your return rate? 99% of them, these are VP supply chain, country managers, had no idea. My next question to them was, so gentlemen, how much money do you spend in bringing a product back? There are a lot of e-commerce companies here. I saw the notice over there. There are a lot of manufacturers here. What's your cost to process a return? Any idea? Over 70% of the cases, cost to process a return is higher than the value of the product. The moment you decide I'm going to bring the product back, you've lost money. My third question to them was, what's your asset recovery rate? How much do you make out of it? 10 to 12% of the value of the product. Can you believe that? First, if it's a 100 rupee product, 70% of the probability is you're spending 150 to bring it back, and what you brought back is only get you 10 rupees. You're losing money. And my final question was to IT companies, are you compliant with electronic waste regulations? That scared them. So when Microsoft, the mothership, started calling me back after my expatriate assignment was getting over, I decided to quit and start this company. I had so many people in this country tell me, are you an idiot? Dollar salary, Microsoft, and you're going to quit and start a company and people don't even know what the heck you're going to do? I started the company in October 1st, 2008, height of recession. Perfect time to start a company. Seed funding from Mumbai Angels. Everybody said 3-month money will run out. 6 months we were operationally profitable. We took that money to about a year and a half. 2010 we got funded by Kleiner Perkins and Sherpalo, Series A. And very recently in June we got our Series B with Vertex leading the round, Kleiner Perkins and Sherpalo adding more money into it. From year 1 to year 2 we grew 5x in terms of revenue. From year 2 to year 3 we grew 10x in revenue. From year 2 to 3 we would have grown about 5x in revenue. The reason I'm saying 3 years is because even though the base is growing, we are growing very rapidly. And if all goes well, we are actually a very technology-enabled company. All goes well, this year we are looking at breaking even.